but yeah, I mean, that's just the skin because the inside of it is perfect. And once I start peeling that, then you will see that. So here I have my sweet potato, which is a lot. And I'll be adding some cocoa. We call it cocoa back home, but they call it heady here in the Bahamas. So you definitely need your spice. So I have my vanilla here. I have some cinnamon, ground cinnamon. I have the stick as well. I just might, add the stick to it, like boil some and then use that flavoring water. You're going to need a little bit of salt. And here I have some raisin. This has been sitting in some Ray and Neville white overproof rum for a couple of days. It's not a lot, it's just a little bit, as you could see, and that's just for a little flavoring. Now you do not need a lot of this in it, right? You just need a little bit because you're not making fruit cake anyhow. I have me some rose water right here. I should have had the almond water, but however, this is what I have. Now you need some nutmeg. As the time go by, I might take out one of these and show you, but this is what it looks like in the bottle. Now I went ahead from last night and prep my coconut, because when you're doing stuff like this, you need to try and see how much prepping you can do from overnight. Now I couldn't do the sweet potato. I did not want to cut and peel them and they start to get discolored. So that's why I did not do those. But however, I had already cut my coconut up, washed them, and all of that. So this is just ready to be blended. Now I'm going to blend this, but these are going to be grated. And that's where the work comes in. Okay, so my coconut, very nice and pretty. Now I'm not going to use all of that because you don't want too much liquid in your sweet potato when you're doing it. Here I have some cornmeal and I have some flour in the back. Now you don't need too much of these, you just need a small amount. Okay guys, so you would have seen the process of peeling both the sweet potato and the cocoa. You would have seen where I washed the whole thing, and now here I am cutting it up so that it is more manageable to grate it, actually, because you know you can't really manage it that big, so you can cut it up. Now I am cutting in mine into 4 pieces. However, you can cut yours to your desired size. How you can manage it, then you work with it, okay? No problem. For persons who do not understand how to use a grater, please just use the blender. Guys, let me say this. Grating potato, sweet potato, to make a Jamaica sweet potato pudding, it is not for the faint of heart. It is plenty work. Plenty work. You have to put your back into it. Yes, it's a lot of work, guys. It is no joke. And so for those who are not used to using a grater, don't know the method, because using a grater can be very dangerous. You could burst up your fingers, your knuckles, your nails, you know, you can hurt yourself, and you gratering a certain amount. So it is not something that, you know, very easy. It's a technique, it's patience, and it's a lot of energy. So if you're not used to using a grater, or you feel like you just can't be bothered, you could always blend it. Now remember, when you're gonna blend it, you cannot use too much liquid, because you do not want it to be soft. Too much water, because the more water in it is, the longer the pudding is going to take to soak. It is not going to come out you know, firm as though it ought to. So yes, guys, if you can't use a grater, use your blender. Cut it up, use a small amount of water, and it's best to use the coconut water that you're going to use. Yes, it's best to use that. Don't use plain water, because if you use the plain water, then you have to come back now and use your coconut water, which is going to be too much, and you're not going to be able to add enough coconut water in it. So you just use your coconut water, do your blending, but watch what you're doing and do not put too much liquid in it. Now guys, you see me putting in the eddy, which we call coconut, which we do call cocoa. Yes, that is like a binder. Now you could use yam. Now yam is very expensive here in Bahamas, and also I heard it's very expensive back home in Jamaica as well. Yes, top shelf something, right? So guys, when you use the cocoa, right? Or the eddy. When you use that, it's a binder, so you do not have to use too much flour. It helps to hold the potato together. Okay, so that is the main purpose for using the heady. Now if you don't have to put all of that in it, you could just put a little flour with your cornmeal in it, right? But not too much, guys, because it is called sweet potato pudding, and pudding is something that is supposed to be heavy. It is not supposed to be light. Another thing, guys, if you are a person who cannot eat the flour, you can always skip that and just use the eddy. You could use you know what, let me just say cocoa. You could use the cocoa, and you could also just use yam. These are stuff that will hold the pudding together, so you don't have to necessarily put any flour in it if you cannot take a flour. Okay, guys, so here we have the sweet potato and the cocoa, and I'm just going to be mixing these. I'm going to be combining them together before I put in all the other mixture, like the spice, the flour, even the coconut water. Yes, I'm going to be mixing in everything, just combine the whole thing before I move to the next step. Okay, guys, so I am adding in the spice. Now, as you can see, I am not measuring anything. Okay, as a Jamaican, that is one of the gifts that we have. We don't measure, we just pour and use our judgment. Okay, now I can't tell you exactly how much you must put into your mix. You have to know how much mix you have. Okay, so that you can know how much spice to put in it, how much flour to put in it, you know, how much of whatever. So as you could see, I put in the vanilla already, the rosemary already. You know, I'm just putting in stuff, but I am not measuring anything. Okay, and we had already been down that road where I tell you all the stuff them that I am using. So the only thing I did not say before was about the brown sugar. Now, making pudding, you need your sugar. Okay, and most definitely you will be seeing that being added into the mixture, your brown sugar. Yeah, man, you have to get your brown sugar in there. Okay, guys, so here I have to go and get some more of our Rare Neville white rum, because even though the raisin was already soaked in some, you know, because I realized that the mixture that I have is a lot, so I had to add just a little bit more rum. Now remember, the rum is just for flavoring. It is not to put into the point where you get drunk. It is only for flavoring. And I have to emphasize that, because I don't want to go dash a whole bottle of rum in y'all thing and then blame me. So remember, it is for flavoring. And again, you have to know how much of whatever spice and all of that to put in, because it's based upon how much mixture you have. So guys, here's the nutmeg that was in the jar. So this is what it looks like. Now I end up using one and left the other off. Okay, I didn't use the whole 1.5. Right, so I only used one. So guys, as you can see, there was a whole lot of changes right here. I had to change my spot where I was standing because I am very short, and to mix this you need that control. So you don't need something that you and it are on the same height, which is going to be going to be very strenuous on the arm just to mix it. And let me tell you something, you have to mix this very well, because and then seeing that you're not using a lot of liquid, you know it is going to be a little resistance trying to mix it. So you need to stay somewhere where you are comfortable and you're in control, and that place would have to be a little bit lower than you, so that your arm, you know, and you could really get that mix. Not only that I had to change my location as to where I was standing, I also had to change my spoon. Not only that I had to change my spoon, I now had to use a bigger container. So I resorted to my pressure cooker pot. Yes, and I was mixing that, because you had to mix out everything that you put inside there. And so while I was mixing, I was adding in the coconut milk, and I was adding that slowly, because again, you do not want too much liquid, so you want to be in control. So while I was mixing, you know, trying to get all the spice out, the flour, and to get everything all combined, everybody meet and greet. Yes, you know, I was just making sure I get all of that out while I was taking my time and pouring out my coconut milk, so that it's not too watery. Okay guys, so what you see me doing right here, I am mixing around the coconut milk, because you know that the milk and the water have a tendency to separate. So I don't want to throw it out and then, you know, throwing out half and half. You know, I had to just mix by the whole milk, shake it around, and then mix it, and then I pour it. So that means I am getting everything is all combined again and ready to go. Okay guys, so here I have some coconut trash, just adding in that some of that to the mixture. Now normally how my mom does it, she just grated the whole thing, and everything would just be in the mix already. But how the new thing now, or the new style now that most person does, is that they blend the coconut, juice it, and use the water, and then you could just add a little bit of the trash into the mixture. Okay guys, so our mixture is coming to an end, and we're heading outside to catch our cold stove, because indeed we are baking our sweet potato pudding on the outside. So guys, when we're doing sweet potato pudding, 3/4 of the fire has to be on top. So you have more fire on top and less fire underneath the bottom. You do not need too much fire, because sweet potato pudding really cook from the top and not from the bottom. So I'm going to be taking out some of the coal to put on top of the pot cover that will be on the pot. Now guys, this is very hot and very dangerous, so please to be extremely careful when attempting to do this, because this is a lot of heat. So because the mixture was sitting for a little while, it is very important for you to mix it up, just to wake up everybody, meet and greet everybody all over again, you know, but everybody get close. So I am doing that so that I can transfer it now into the pot that is going to bake in. So this pot, I went ahead and I had already butter it and flour it. So the flouring is to help to make the pudding not to stick to the pot. Okay, so you know, you have a lot of persons that they would use can't remember the name of the thing right now, but there's like a bake sheet, a baking thing, I can't remember the name, but you know, you use something to line the pot so you don't have that sticking to it. You could just use some oil, of course, you know, because the oil will act as a base, okay, so it does not stick. So here I am just trying to make sure that there's no hair bubble and stuff like that, getting rid of any form of hair bubble, and just smoothing it out so that everything would be just nice and tight and ready for the fire. Okay. Okay guys, so here we go. Look at she. Wow, baked to perfection and tastes amazing. Guys, please let me know if you're going to try this and how it turns out for you. Please to like, share, comment and subscribe. God bless you all. Do enjoy.